So if you didn't know, the Spurs got the smackdown last night. I kind of figured OKC was gonna come out back home, charged up, young team, and they came back home very charged up and energetic, and they did what I thought they possibly could do in a game or two in this series. Again, role players stepped up, and like I said in my last video, they're going to have to turn that Spurs series into a defensive matchup, period. They have to slow down the Spurs on offense. If they don't, you really don't want to get into a scoring match with the Spurs. I mean, point blank, period. And in the Thunder's case, they are a defensive team. Their defense literally translates into offense, where they get a steal and get an easy, quick bucket. And they did that a lot in the first half, as you've seen. I believe the Spurs had 21 turnovers in that game, which you're not going to beat any elite team doing that in the playoffs. The ball is something that you got to be protective of at all times, point blank, period. And if you're not, these things will translate into buckets, and easy buckets, and you can't give up anything easy in the playoffs. We all know that. The points aren't coming easy in this playoffs, as we've seen with Boston, or in the Thunder's case, in the first game, or game two, they didn't shoot too well. So again, these are the things that they have to be mindful of. They can't give up the ball 21 times. You can't do that and beat any elite team, like I just said. So with that being said, the Thunder did an outstanding job of defense. And on the offensive end, I mean, Safalosha stepping up and scoring 19 points. That was huge. And that's the one thing I said last time. These players are going to have to step up. We know Serge Ibaka is not a scorer. He's a defensive player. But him getting a block shot will translate into offense. Whether you got Durant coming on the wing or Westbrook coming down the center, alley-oop, whatever the case is. Those are the easy buckets that they're going to have in order to beat the Spurs. And on the flip side, Spurs have got to stop turning the ball over. Every time they get on a little run in that last game, in game 3, they literally turned the ball over. And it was to the point to where you can only give the ball up so many times in which you're passing it so many different times. Each time you're taking a risk when you pass that ball, because you got people cutting into the lanes and protecting their lanes. So yeah, you want your team to pass the ball a lot, but it gets to a point where it's like, who's going to shoot it? And I seen on like 3 or 4 occasions, I believe it was still the first half, where they kept passing the ball down to Duncan in the post. And I'm just like, this isn't the old Duncan. And this is not how you give it to Duncan when you do your pick and roll, and he's right there to take the 18-footer. Boom, every time. What they were doing last night, it was almost like they were trying to establish Duncan and then get other players off, and that's not how they play. They just allow anybody to get off, and everybody just happens to get involved in the